Welcome to Haunted Screens, where unsettling tales meet the silence of the night. This story is best experienced in the dark, right before bed. The kind of suspense that lingers in the quiet. Tonight, we journey to the vast and frozen solitude of Alaska, where one man's search for peace turns into a chilling encounter no one can explain. If you've ever experienced something strange in a remote place, a cabin, the woods, or during a winter storm, share your story in the comments. Images are illustrative and may not fully reflect the events. Now let's begin. Nick was burned out. A graphic designer from Seattle, he took 2 weeks off and rented a remote hunting cabin in Alaska. No neighbors, no cell service, just snow-covered trees, silence, and solitude. The owner, an older man named George, left him with one warning: keep the fire going, and don't go exploring at night. Nick assumed it was just local wisdom. Coyotes, frostbite, whatever. He laughed it off. Until the third night. The first few days were peaceful. Nick worked on sketches by the fire, drank hot cocoa, and read. But on night 3, around 2:30 a.m., he heard something, a thump on the porch, then another. But no one there. When he peeked through the window, there were footprints in the snow. He opened the door. Nothing, just wind. He went back to bed, leaving the porch light on. The next night, he heard it again. But this time, the prints weren't just on the porch. They circled the entire cabin. Nick grabbed his camera and took a photo through the frosty window. When he zoomed in later, there was a gloved hand pressed to the far side of the glass. He hadn't seen it in real time. He thought maybe it was a trick of the light. But when he checked the snow the next morning, there were no tracks leading away. That night, Nick bolted the door, piled firewood inside, and kept his phone by him, even though there was no signal. Around 3:00 a.m. someone knocked, 3 times. Then again, when he looked out, the porch was empty, but the door handle turned. Slowly, he didn't sleep. At first light, Nick packed up, but the snowmobile wasn't where he left it. He hiked 5 miles through deep snow to George's cabin. George listened, then said, "You lasted longer than most. Whatever it is, it doesn't like when people stay too long." Nick asked, "Is it a person?" George just stared. "Does it matter?" Nick never returned to Alaska. And to this day he doesn't know who or what was walking around his cabin each night. Was it a drifter? Something else? Or was he just cracking from isolation? If you liked this story, make sure to subscribe to Haunted Screens for more psychological thrillers and remote horror. Ever had a strange experience in the woods, or somewhere far from help? Share it below. Your story could be our next episode. And remember, sometimes being alone doesn't mean you're alone.